Chapter 2, Defining Confined Spaces. So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I agree, confined spaces can be dangerous, but how do I know what classifies as a confined space? So to answer that question, let's take a look at the Occupational Health and Safety Administration and what they have to say and how they define it. According to OSHA, a confined space is defined under 29 CFR 1910.146 as any space that 1. Is large enough and is configured in a way that an employee can bodily enter and perform any of the assigned work. Number 2, has limited or restricted means of entry and exit. And number 3, it is not designed for continuous employee occupancy. So another way to phrase these three is essentially that a confined space must be large enough for a worker to enter and carry out their tasks. The entry in and the exit out are severely restricted, and that space is not intended for regular work or any sort of continuous occupation. So now that we have an understanding of what defines a confined space, let's go one step further and learn about the two different types of confined spaces: permit required and non-permit required. Simply put, the easiest way to understand the difference is a permit required confined space will have at least one or more of the following 4 characteristics. Number 1, contains or has the potential to contain a hazardous atmosphere. So hazardous atmospheres can be toxic gases, oxygen deficient atmospheres, and even oxygen enriched atmospheres. Number 2, contains a material that has the potential to engulf an entrant. So for example, a few engulfment hazards could be sand, grain, or even water. Number 3, has an internal configuration that could trap or asphyxiate an entrant. So this could be spaces that have converging walls or a floor that slopes downward into a smaller cross section, which could entrap an entrant. Number 4, contains any other recognized serious safety or health hazards. So this could include hazards like unguarded machinery, exposed live wires, or even temperature extremes. Now, on the other hand, a non-permit required confined space is a confined space that does not contain or have the potential to contain any hazard capable of causing death or serious physical harm. Simply put, if you can verify that the confined space lacks all 4 of the characteristics that we just talked about, then there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be a non-permit required confined space. With that said, if you're still not sure, please reach out to your local safety team for additional support and guidance.